Okay, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. You can take a comfortable seat on your mat, but maybe sit in a kneeling posture if that feels okay for you. If it doesn't feel okay, just sit in any comfortable seat. But let's get started in a kneeling posture. You can close your eyes here, maybe just have your hands in your lap, and just take a few moments, a few breaths to arrive. You can start to bring the focus to your breath. And there's four parts of the breath. So there's the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the pause. So just in the next few moments, see if you can identify all four parts of your breath. And also start to observe the sound of your breath. So if you can, keeping the lips closed, just breathing evenly in and out through the nose. And today we're going to be talking about the throat chakra, so Visuddha. The throat chakra, the energy center there, is responsible for our communication, as well as just speaking our truth, being able to share our ideas, and feeling comfortable in our own skin. And the properties here are harmony, creativity, and honesty. And the element is sound and ether. So throughout the practice, I know I'm usually reminding folks to focus on their breath, but really focus on the sound of it as we continue through this practice. And today we're going to be doing some neck stretches as well as opening up the shoulders and the chest. And then you can bring your hands together. And we're going to start our practice with the sound of one universal Om. So you guys are all muted, so I can't hear you, but if you would like to Om, you can Om with me. So together we would take a big inhale. Om. And breathing here. And then you can open your eyes. Inhale, hands come high. And then exhale, hands to heart center. And do that again. Inhale, hands come high. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. So we're going to take some lateral shoulder stretches. So you can take your left arm, just cross it alongside your body. And then just taking that right arm, hooking it by the elbow for a nice shoulder stretch. So for many of my practices at studios, I often begin with the sound of an Om, because one, from a physical perspective, it helps to clear our lungs, but also it's from a ritual perspective, it helps to place us into the atmosphere of getting to practice. I don't do it with the online classes just because I can appreciate that you guys probably have family members around and not sure if people want to do that with so much other stuff around them, but it is a good practice. And then you can switch arms. Right arm goes across. Your left hand can bring it closer to you. And then coming back to center, grab the left side of your head with your right hand and then just gently guiding it to the right. Just stretching along the left side of the neck. And then switching sides. You can have that right hand just touching down on the earth for a little support. Coming back to center, you can interlace your hands behind your lower back, or you can just grab your forearms. Of course, if you have a strap or a belt, you can use that there too. Opening up the chest, trying to bring the shoulder blades together to touch. Inhale, you can look up. And then exhale, just start to fold forward. And just bringing the hands over the, not over the head, but bringing the hands up. Just stretching out the shoulders. And then you can rise back up. Release your hands and meet me into tabletop. Keeping the hands nice and wide and flat on the earth in tabletop, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. And then exhale, arch the spine, drop the head. So coming into our cat-cows, matching breath to movement here. So inhale, we look up. And exhale, we arch the spine, drop the head. Taking some more at your own pace. And I encourage you throughout the practice, just like in all the chakra practices, many of the postures we're going to be doing, we do in almost every class. But if you can, by focusing on the sound of your breath and even experiencing how things are showing up in the throat or in the chest, you start to activate that energy center. So a teacher used to say to me, where attention goes, energy flows. And that's really true, whether it's our physical body or whether it's something that we've been pondering or lamenting in our life. Wherever our attention goes, that is where our energy goes too. So throughout this practice, you can focus right on the throat, on the sound, and taking any other movements here that might feel nice. Now we'll meet back in our neutral table. So keeping the hips over the knees here, take a couple steps forward with our hands coming into our puppy pose. So chin or forehead can connect with the earth. And just imagine there's almost like a magnet between your chest and your mat, pulling you down. And then keeping the forearms connected with the earth, shimmy the legs back and come into Sphinx. Shoulders over elbows, forearms pressing through, chest coming through the shoulders. And gaze is straight ahead, so really stretching out the spine here. Then you can drop the chin, and we'll just gently bring the chin to the right shoulder, seeing how that feels on your neck. And coming back through center, bringing the chin to the left shoulder. And coming back down towards center. And then lifting the head up. And then coming back down to the earth. You can make a little pillow with your hands, just resting your forehead right on your hands. And come into some gentle belly back bends. Shoelace side of the feet, compress into the earth for this one. And then on an inhale, we'll lift our upper body. So keeping the forehead connected with the hands. Just lifting arms, chest, head. And then coming back down. And taking a moment to reset here. And then on the next one, we're going to keep the upper body pressed into the earth, but we're going to lift up the legs. So they won't get that far off the earth. Don't worry about it. You're still strengthening your lower spine. So with the upper body connected to the earth, you can lift up the legs. Try to make sure your feet don't go further than hips width apart. Again, you're focusing on that sound of the breath, that rhythmic sounding. And then you can come back down. And then on your next one, you can lift both upper and lower body. So inhale, come up. And then coming back down. You can bring your hands wide, goalpost arms off the edge of your mat. You can tent your fingers. Inhale, coming up into a wide cobra. You can drop the right shoulder, looking over the left. Coming back up. Dropping the left, looking over the right. We'll do one more on each side. So coming back up, dropping the right, looking over the left. One more time. Dropping the left, looking over the right. Coming back up, and then releasing down to your mat. You can push yourself up through tabletop. Curl the toes under, lift the hips back to your downward facing dog. You can pedal out your dog here, waking up the hamstrings. Hands are pressed firmly into the earth. Head is hanging between biceps. And first, downward facing dog of the practice, maybe even for the day. I always think this is a good posture just to start checking in with yourself and seeing how you're feeling. So in yoga, the breath that we most often do in vinyasa practice is called ujjayi breathing. And it's really diaphragmic breathing where it almost sounds like ocean waves. So we're just going to practice a little bit here, and if you're getting tired of downward facing dog, you can come into your tabletop. But together we'll take an inhale, and then purse your lips. Exhale like you're blowing through a straw. And then you do that again, taking an inhale, and then exhale, audibly blow out like you're blowing through a straw. And then in your next one, you'll close your lips, but try to keep that same feeling of taking that deep breath to blow out, but just blowing out your nose. And that's our ujjayi breathing. And it really sounds a little bit like the ocean. It's also called the victorious breath. And that's generally the breath that we use throughout our yoga practice. So if you haven't really considered it before, maybe this practice, you just pay a little more attention to that. And then you can go high on your tiptoes, bending the knees, walk to the front of your mat, ragdoll forward fold. Opposite hand, opposite elbow here, bending the knees, letting the head drop. With the feet rooted into the earth, swaying a little bit back and forth. And you can release the hands to the earth. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine, bringing the shoulder blades back for that flat back. Arms extend in front of you. Really think of lengthening the spine here. Feet press into the earth as you rise up to your standing, extended Tadasana. And with the arms high, we'll keep the hips squared to the earth. We'll take a high twist to the right. Hips squared to the front, not the earth. Coming back up. High twist to the left. Coming back up, we'll take those goddess arms. Inhale, look up, opening up the heart space. In the throat chakra. And then hands can come to heart center. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen the spine. Shoulder blades come back. And then you can plant the hands. Left foot steps back. Soften the left knee to the earth. Inhale, hands come high, low lunge on the right. Interlace the hands behind the lower back. Inhale, look up for a little mini back bend. And then you can release your hand grasp. Hands can come back down to the earth. Curl the back toes under. Right foot steps back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, come high to your high plank. Shoulders over wrist, core engaged. Then we'll come down to our dolphin, right forearm, then left. And keeping the hips at about shoulder level. Breathing here. And sometimes in these hard, more challenging strength building postures, that's when it's really great to focus on the breath, that ujjayi sound. Imagine it going all the way from your diaphragm, both on the inhale and the exhale. Drop the knees, drop the hips, coming into Sphinx. Curl the toes under, lift the hips back into dolphin. Plank. And then right hand, then left hand brings you into your high plank. Take an inhale here, exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg will come high here, three-legged dog on the left. And just taking a moment to feel this stretch, feeling the palms connect into the earth, heel high. We take an inhale here, exhale, glide forward, left knee, left elbow. Coming back up, left knee, right elbow. Coming back up, left knee to nose, holding it here, so pressing the earth away, bringing knee to nose, stepping the left foot forward, runner's lunge on the left. So again, if you have blocks, cams, rolls of toilet paper, anything, you can use those to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. But knee is over ankle here. Then we're going to scooch the right foot forward, coming into pyramid. And again, you can use blocks here as well too. But both feet are flat on the earth in pyramid. That back foot's at about 45 degrees. Hips are squared right to the front. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. And you just let the head drop here. And then right foot comes to meet the left, forward fold, root down to rise up to standing, extended Tadasana. Hands come right to heart center. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine, bring shoulder blades back. And then plant your hands, right foot steps back. And soften the right knee to the earth. Hands come high to the sky for your low lunge. Interlace the hands behind the lower back. So opening up the chest, you can look up for a little mini back bend. Breathing here. And you can release your hands, bringing hands back to the earth. Curl the toes under, left foot steps right back, downward facing dog. Remember, you can keep that little bend in your knees in your downward facing dog to keep that length in the spine. And you can glide forward, coming into your high plank. Imagine that belly button coming back up towards spine. Left arm comes down, then right for dolphin plank. Breathing here. And then drop the knees, Drop the hips, coming into Sphinx. Curl the toes under, lift the hips, back into Dolphin. And then left hand, then right hand, coming into your high plank. Taking an inhale here, exhale, core strength brings you right back, downward facing dog. Right leg comes high, three-legged dog on the right. Keep that foot flexed, hips square to the earth. Take an inhale here, exhale, glide forward, right knee, right elbow. Coming back up, right knee, left elbow. Coming back up, right knee to nose. Holding it here, and then stepping the right foot forward, runner's lunge on the right. So hands are on either side of the right foot, knee is over ankle, and you're on the ball of your back foot. And we'll scooch the back foot up a little bit, coming into pyramid pose. So you can inhale to lengthen, exhale, hinging forward. Dropping the head, just feeling that nice stretch along the hamstrings. And then left foot can come to meet the right, forward fold. Root down, rise up to standing. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll take a couple of sun salutations now. So again, matching breath to movement. Focus on the sound of the breath. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen, shoulder blades come back. Plant the hands, step back to your high plank. So for this first one, we'll glide forward on our toes, shoulders ahead of wrist. Come all the way down to our mat. Be a very thoughtful, intentional push-up. Inhale, come up to cobra. Exhale, coming back down. Curl the toes under to push yourself back up through high plank or tabletop. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog. Taking a breath or two here. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Root down to rise up to standing on it. Inhale, hands come high. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine, bringing the shoulder blades back. And then on your exhale, you plant the hands, step back to your high plank. Coming through your low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Let's pause in our upward facing dog for just a moment. Shoulders stacked over wrist, chest coming through shoulders. We'll keep the gaze straight ahead. And if you want, if it feels okay in your neck, you can start looking up just a little bit, just stretching out the neck. Returning, head facing center. Core strength brings you right back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Root down to rise up to standing on it. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll do one more. Inhale, hands come high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine, shoulder blades come back, and then you can plant the hands, step back to your high plank, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. We'll take 3 breaths here. If you want to come into child's pose, just to feel a little bit more grounded, you can do that here. You can bring the focus back to the breath. And go high on our tiptoes, bending the knees, walk to the front of your mat. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Root down to rise up to standing arm. Inhale, hands come high. And then on exhale, drop the hips, coming into your Utkatasana. So the feet can be about hips width here, bending the knees, keeping the spine long, and breathing. Maybe see if you can get a little bit lower. You can take your hands, see if you can interlace them behind your lower back. If you have a strap, you could use that too. Or you could just come into airplane arms, so whatever works. Opening up the chest here. Maybe sink a little bit lower. Take an inhale, and if you have your hands clasped, keep them clasped. Exhale, forward fold. And then you can release your hands to the earth. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine. And then you can plant the hands. Step back to your high plank. And you can decide, we've done a lot of vinyasas, you can do another one right here. Or maybe you do a push-up. Or you can get right back, downward facing dog. Right leg comes high, 3-legged dog on the right. And then right foot will step forward, back foot dials back, rise up, warrior one. So you can take a moment to settle into your warrior one. Hips are squared, that back foot's at about 45 degrees. And gaze is straight ahead. And breathing here. Interlace the hands behind the lower back. Again, you can use your strap or just grab your forearms. Inhale, look up. Opening up the throat, the heart space. Exhale, folding forward, humble warrior. So the head comes right to the inside of the right knee. Rising back up. Hands come high to the sky. Hands come to heart center. Open up, warrior two. So you've got tail to instep alignment. That right knee is over the right ankle. Arms are parallel. Gaze is straight ahead. And breathing here. So this chakra is all about being able to communicate and speak your truth. And sometimes I think that's hard for us because we don't want to disappoint or upset others, so we keep a lot in. But I'm starting to learn that just like practice, it becomes easier with practice. So when you start to share, when you start to reveal, it becomes more than second nature. But I know it took me a while to be able to do that. But just like with anything else, I think it's just a practice. The more you do, it's almost like a muscle. You can flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, coming into your side angle. Right forearm to right thigh. Yeah, top hand can be right above your head, reaching forward, or maybe you come into a bind, opening up the chest. But it's something to consider. So, where am I being honest? Where could I be sharing more? What have I not said? Coming back to your warrior two. So we're gonna pivot on our back foot, coming into our crescent lunge. So back to facing the front of the mat now. Drop that back knee to hover for just a moment, and straighten the back leg. And we're in our crescent lunge. You can bring your hands to heart center here. Torso can hover over that front thigh, so you can think of that diagonal from the crown of your head to your back heel. Then we're going to twist to the right. Now you can keep your spine long, or if you want something deeper, left elbow can hook along the right knee. And you can keep your hands at heart center here, or you can open up your arms for a deeper twist. And then if your arms are open, we'll bring our hands back to heart center. Now we'll place the weight into the right foot. Left leg steps up, and we're in our twisting Utkatasana. So if it takes a couple of steps, that's okay. Meet me in a twisting chair. Breathing here. And then forward fold. You can bring your feet about hips width apart. You can come into a basic forward fold or any one of your choice, but if you'd like, you can take your two peace fingers, wrap them around your big toes. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Head comes heavy to the earth. And I always think of these forward folds as more of trying to get your hips higher, so it's hinging at the hips. You can release your toes, toe heel the feet together, bend the knees, lengthen the spine, shoulder blades come back, plant the hands, step back to your high plank, and then deciding what kind of vinyasa you want to go through. I think I will take a push-up here, and we will meet back in downward facing dog. Left leg comes high, three-legged dog on the left. Taking a moment here just to feel that energy. And then left foot steps forward, back foot dials back, rise up, warrior one. We can interlace the hands behind the lower back. Inhale, look up, opening up the heart space. Exhale, folding forward, humble warrior. With the feet rooted into the earth, that gives you the strength to come right back up to standing. You can release your hands, bringing the hands high again for your full expression of your warrior one. And then hands can come back to center. Open up, warrior two on the left. And taking a moment to settle into your warrior two. Shoulders stacked over hips, that front knee is over the ankle. And feet are grounded. You can bring the focus back to the sound of your breath. And flip that front palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And then exhale, side angles. Left forearm to left thigh. And getting comfortable in your side angle. Thinking of rooting in deep into the earth, but then also opening and expansive, being expansive. And taking up space. And sometimes I think we don't say what we want because we don't feel that we should, or we're afraid of how it will be received. And later regretting it. So maybe you take some time to think if there's something that you've wanted to say, but have been fearful to. And if it's something that you can release. Feet rooting the earth, you can come back to your warrior two. And we'll take that right hand, sweeping it around as the back foot pivots, coming into our crescent lunge. We're on the ball of our back foot, left knee over ankle. You can drop that back knee to hover, and then straighten out the back leg. Hands can come to heart center. Torso hovers over the left thigh. Then we'll take a twist to the left. That right elbow can hook along the left knee. You can keep your hands at heart center. Open up your arms. And we'll meet with our hands back at heart center in this crescent lunge twist. Placing the weight now in the left foot. Bring the right foot up to meet the left, and we're in Utkatasana, chair twist. So hips are low, spine is long, breathing here. Take one more inhale, and exhale, forward fold. You can bring your feet hips width apart. Again, you can come into any forward fold of your choice, or you could come into gorilla pose. So that's when we walk on the palms of our hands, almost the toes start to go up towards the wrist. Inhale, bend the knees to lengthen. Exhale, straighten the legs, drop the head. You can release the hands, toe heel the feet together. Slowly start to roll up to standing, kind of one vertebrae at a time, just like a yoga zombie. And we'll meet in Tadasana with our palms outstretched. You can place the weight into your right foot and we'll come into tree. So remember, you can kickstand, come to the calf, or come to the inner thigh. And you can start at hands at heart center, or maybe even stay with hands at heart center. You can also interlace the hands behind the lower back, so in your tree pose. And inhale, look up. See if you can find one spot on the ceiling to gaze at. That's your drishti, providing you with the balance. And you can bring your head back to center. Bring your hands back to center. Left knee can come out in front, grab the outside of the left knee with the right hand, and we'll take a high twist to the left. Coming back through center, you can release the left knee to the earth, maybe wiggle it out a little bit, and then we'll place the weight into the left foot, and we'll come into tree on the other side. You can start or stay with hands at heart center, or if you want, interlacing the hands behind the lower back, inhaling, looking up at the ceiling, finding that one spot that's providing you with like almost another leg or arm to help stabilize you. Coming back through center, that's kind of got the wobbles. That's okay, right? Because balance is supposed to be fun and playful. And then you can release your foot to the earth, bring the hands back to heart center. And inhale, hands come high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine. And then you can plant the hands, step right back to your high plank. And breathing here. We'll drop the knees to the earth, coming into our tabletop. So we're going to set up for thread the needle now. So you can plant the right hand on the earth, left hand sweeps high, and then the left hand goes underneath the right armpit. You can rest the left side of your face onto the earth. That right hand comes to the upper right corner, or it could also wrap behind you. So just see what feels better. And then right hand can come back towards the face, propping you back up. Left hand comes high, and then the left hand comes back to the earth. This time, right hand comes high, and we'll thread the needle on the other side. And left hand can come back towards the face, right hand comes high, and then right hand comes back down to the earth. And then you'll lift up so you're on your knees. And you can either have your toes curled under, so we're going to set up for camel. And it doesn't have to be that deep of a camel. You can either keep the feet flat on the earth, or you can curl the toes under. But to start, we're going to have our hands so facing up, trying to keep the thumbs maybe on the sacrum, and the hands help because we're trying to keep the hips over the knees. And so for this first one, for our camel, this is a back bend, but it's also a chest opener. It also lengthens the neck as well too, the throat. So on an inhale, we can start to push the hips a little bit forward as we start to look back. So maybe you start just by looking where the wall meets the ceiling, and if that feels okay, you can keep going back. Breathing here. And you can start to come back up. You can take a seat on your heels with either your toes curled or not. Place both palms on your heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Settling back in. And then we'll rise back up and we'll set up for our next camel. And bring the hands behind you. So you can keep your hands behind you, or if you have the back flexibility, you can grab your heels to come into a camel. Inhale, come up. And sometimes if you have blocks and you can put them on the side too, that can help. And then start to rise back up and come back into your tabletop for a second. You can paddle out your feet for a moment. Then open the knees wide, sitting back on your heels, coming into child's pose. And you can start to hear that sound of your breath. And you can start to rise back up. And you can just take a seat on your bum. So we're going to come into Gomakasa. So you place the right foot down, so knees coming straight right in front of you. And then we're going to stack the left knee on top of the right. So then you're sitting in between your heels. You take a moment to adjust, trying to get your sits bones comfortable on the earth. And this might be fine. This might be all you need to feel that nice stretch along the outside of the hips. But if you want a little bit more, you just start walking the hands forward. And just breathing here, so just breathing into the stretch. And then start to make your way back up. And you can extend both legs long in front of you. Inhale, hands come high. And then exhale, you can fold forward. And then you can rise back up. This time, the left knee will go down onto the earth first, so that knee is pointing straight ahead. And then you can just bring the right knee right on top of it, so it's creating this triangle shape. You can wiggle around so the sits bones are even on the earth. And you can maybe just hold your feet, and this is plenty. Or if you want more, you can start walking the hands forward. And then coming back up, and you can release your legs, unwrap them, and bring the soles of the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana, so you can hold on to your toes. Inhale again to lengthen, exhale, hinging forward. And just breathing right into the stretch. And then you can start to come back up, placing both feet onto the earth. You can grab behind your thighs here, and you just lift the legs up and coming into a boat pose. You can have your legs completely straight like that. It's kind of hard for me. I tend to keep my shins parallel to the earth. And breathing here. And you can slowly start to lower all the way down to the earth, coming into that low boat or canoe shape for a moment, keeping the head, chest, shoulders lifted, feet lifted off the earth. Breathing here. And then releasing all the way down. And bring soles of the feet wide to the edges of the mat. Knees knock in for knock knee pose. You can have one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart here. And you can bring soles of the feet together, Supta Padasana. And give the knees a hug in. And rocking a little bit side to side, massaging up the spine. And then you can place the hands underneath the hips. Extend the legs long, soles of the feet facing the skies. We come into a gentle inversion. And if you're by a wall at home, you could even rest your legs right up and stay like that for the rest of the practice. That can feel really nice. Then you can release your hands, and then you can grab the inside edges of the feet. So heels are stacked over knees. And rock a little side to side, coming into your happy baby. Give the knees a hug in. Keep the right knee hugged in. Extend the left leg long. With your left hand, you can gently guide the right knee across the left side of your body. That right arm comes out like an anchor. And you can gaze to the right. And coming back through center, hug both knees in again. This time you'll keep the left knee hugged in, extend the right leg long. With the right hand, guide the left knee across the body. Left arm comes out as you gaze to the left. Coming back through center. And give yourself one more hug. And then releasing legs long on the earth, palms facing the sky as we come into our final posture, Shavasana. I'm starting to bring a little bit of consciousness back, maybe wiggle the toes or fingers. You can start to roll over to your left or right side. And spend a few moments in the fetal position, so keeping the eyes closed, still resting here. And you start to make your way up to a comfortable seat. We'll meet with our hands at heart center. And keep your eyes closed. Just gaze softly at your fingertips. And you bring your thumb knuckles to your lips and to your third eye. I'm wishing you love and light on your journey. Everything that is good and light in me bows to everything that is good and light in you. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.